Good morning, everyone. I'm Ummer Shervani. I am a PACE alumni. I right now work with a company called Concur. We are into AP automation. Today, I'm going to be doing a briefing on what IoT is and some of the IoT concepts and how IoT and industry fits together. Apologies that we cannot do this live. It's really because of the time difference. So with that, let me get started. I've prepared a small presentation so that we can get some advantage out of it. So let me just play this. So I'm going to be covering about IoT and IoT concepts. So if you watch this small GIF, it's basically, if you see here, you can see that the two objects are communicating with each other. And even though it looks that it's really communicating with each other, it's actually the program inside it is communicating with each other. And that's really enabled via IoT for this image. Now, moving on, here's what the agenda. I'm going to be doing what IoT is and how does IoT and industry fit into each other, and the IoT trends in the market, and also the market perspective on the future of IoT. That's what I'm going to be covering today. So if you search internet for what IoT is, this is what Vicky is going to give you, and it's pretty confusing from my perspective. That's the reason I stroked through it. But you can, if you are if you can make out something out of it, feel free to. But in its real brief, what IoT is, it's basically enables digital transformation. That's what IoT is. Now, to understand better, as the name suggests, now you have someone or a person or an object sharing your Wi-Fi bandwidth. That's it. There is something, maybe the tube, the lights, or your coffee machine or something is using your Wi-Fi bandwidth. Hopefully by that time, you'll have a lot of bandwidth that you can share with multiple devices, but that's what IoT is. And now, why is it using your Wi-Fi or your connection, or why does it need it? Maybe it needs to emit events, or maybe it needs to communicate with another object or another. It has to publish its data to somewhere, which, in the cloud, so that, people can use that data. So there are a lot of possibilities, that these data or these events can be used. And that's the reason you cannot find a strict derivation for IoT. It's basically, it depends on what you want to do with that. It's basically how extensive you want to take that product. You can even have a coffee machine, wake you up and give you coffee. That's the intelligence that you can build onto these products. That's the reason I said, it can be very extensive. It depends on how much money you want to invest and what are the output that you're gonna expect once you have this product, IoTized. So, and also, as I mentioned, it's basically another way of collecting data and how you can change your business with the data that you collected. And with IoT is, we let events flow, or the objects talk to whomsoever is interested in hearing or listening to its talk. So, that's how more you can get into enabling an object with IoT. Moving on. Now, why is IoT important? So let's say you are in a technology industry, or you're a technology entrepreneur. You have customers that you're serving. You have your own product. No one's going to ask you, hey, why is IoT important for me? Or how do I fix my IoT problem? Those things won't come to you because, first of all, you don't have an IoT problem, right? IoT is mainly used for, or you make your products IoT enabled, so that you can reach out to more customers, you can retain your customers, because that's what it's important for a business, right? You want your customers to stay with you. Maybe you have multiple competitors and they are much smarter and much faster than you, then you lose your customers. And that's the reason we want we want to know about these items that's going to change the future on how we interact, how we talk to people, how we talk to products. All those things are changing, and IoT is actually doing it. So in a nutshell, what IoT does, it actually builds artificial intelligence in a product, and how you build artificial intelligence, that's different, right? Because you can have, let's say, if you take an example of a car company, let's say Mercedes, right? Now, Mercedes can build intelligence into their product, right? And with that intelligence, they can even make more money out of it. So let's say Mercedes built an intelligence into their car, and with IoT, obviously. And what it can do is, let's say you bought a car from Mercedes, and let's say now you're going above the speed limit. It can send notification to the cops, and someone can actually control the speed of the car you're driving. They can say, hey, reduce the speed by 50 kilometers. They can do whatever they want, right? So that's what the future is. You can literally have things communicate with each other, and you can automate it extensively that you literally don't have to do anything, and you don't really have to employ people to do all these things. You don't really need these lot of big cameras to watch your speed, because these are all communicated and the objects are talking to each other, and the business can benefit out of it. And you can literally have people focus on something else, and it's a money maker, right? That's the main goal. That's the reason most of these companies want to get there, because they want to make money out of whatever they are doing right now. And this is exactly what I was talking about. So if you see this diagram right here, what is the initial phase as of now? As of now in the industry, let's say we classify it as 4 different slots, or 4 different process. That's where the industry 4.0 coming to a picture, where earlier, I think maybe till 2000, you have the first phase, where it's basically the mechanization and water power, the steam power are basically the meat, right, of the industry. And then you have the mass production. You're producing your items, and maybe in this case it's a car you're producing. And the next step, it's basically the computer and the automation of your production. You're fixing doors and the whole automation side of that. And finally, when your product is out and it's in the market, the people are buying your product. And if you see your product is actually communicating with each other, or maybe it's emitting events, or it's doing the stuff which you want it to be done. And based on the things, you are actually getting data, or you are having some events, and you are building more intelligence to it, and then your business is actually getting benefited. Maybe you build intelligence to your engine, and the engine is going to tell you that, hey, when I'm going at the speed more than 200 miles per hour, my performance is bad, and I'm getting overheated. And then you can basically now identify that problem and fix it before you get a bad reputation in the market. You can have a lot of intelligence built in, and that's really the capability of IoT, and that's the real need of the business to get into IoT. And these are the trends. I just want to give you guys an overview of what the trends is. So if you look at the chart, you can find that the first one is the connected devices. In 2005, it's 1 billion. And don't ask me why 2005. That's the year I passed out, and no, I didn't really bother to get data before it. From 2005 to 2015, there is an increase of 5 billion. Devices, and that's a huge huge growth, right? And now from 2015 to 2020, over the span of 5 years, you can see even 400 times percent growth. And that's humongous, and that's the reason you better get into IoT right now, or else you'll be lost. Kind of, and then next, if you check into the connected processes, now you will see that you will have a lot of connected processes where your city is connected, talking to the electricity, it's also talking to the flight, it's talking to the car. You can have things talking to each other, and doesn't matter how it talks, but it can talk, and you enable that communication with IoT. Um, it might be events, or it might be your car might be pushing the data to the cloud, so that someone can get to the data and see what exactly makes some sense out of it. Maybe in a big data cluster somewhere, so that you can have another process read the data, make sense out of it, and give it back to you, so that you can improve your business. The same thing goes to the business. You can literally drive your business with IoT. One example would be the one which I told earlier about the Mercedes. You can literally make a lot of money from different vendors with the same product, and you can really now literally focus on different market which you were never focusing before, right? Because now think about the scenario where Mercedes-Benz is getting money out of the government, because of the data it's giving to the government. It's a new business, totally new business for a car industry, right? Rather than selling cars, it's even making money out of the car it's already sold. So those are the things that IoT enables a business to, and that's the reason we are striving for building the intelligence and IoT capabilities to most of the products that we build. And it's good to start thinking about now, not late. We can literally make things better in the real future with IoT. And that's what I wanted to cover. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. Hopefully you can reach out to me. Here is my contact information, and I will try to get your questions answered. And there are presenters after this as well. Shoot your questions to them. And that's about it. And thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.